guys, today I'm going to be filling up this hole you see here. I'm going to be building a plant stand like this one you see next to me. We're going to be using a set of stringers or frames for building stairs. I'm going to show you how to modify them a little bit so that they're able to hold your plants. I made this whole plant stand including the old lumber that I'm going to be reusing for under $100, so it's fairly cheap to be able to store up to I'd say a couple of hundred plants depending on the size, and also depending on the sizes of the pots. If you use square plastic pots, you can fit more plants in the same amount of space. But anyway, I digress. This is what the finished product will look like. You're gonna have 3 or 4 steps or shelves depending on the stringers that you buy. The ones I got were $18 at Lowe's, and as you can see, they have 3 steps. And all I did was create this sort of angled support in the back of the stringer so that it's able to stand up, because obviously it doesn't have a wall behind it, it's freestanding. So we're gonna get into some of that next. These are the stringers as they come from the home improvement store, and they are bare wood. So we're going to cover them up with some of this plastic dip to make sure they can stand up to some of the weather here in South Florida. Whenever you spray anything, you want to make sure you do short bursts and you shake the can well in between sprays to make sure you keep all the gases inside nice and pressurized and the nozzle doesn't clog. Here are the stringers or the stair frames. After I coated them with plastic dip, I allowed them to dry overnight, and the reason I dipped them or I coated them in plastic dip is because these parts are going to be touching the ground, and we get about 60 inches of rain here in South Florida per year, so they definitely need to be as hydrophobic as possible to be able to last as long as possible. Now we'll just measure out the pieces we're going to need for the L brace to support the back of this, and we'll cut the pieces and create the L shape. First to make a sort of guide for the screw to follow, because when you're using screws that are this long, these are 2.5-inch screws, you definitely need to make a guide for your screw to go into, otherwise they might not line up properly and it will be more difficult to install. So you make a guide for them using the drill bit and then follow that with the actual screw, and then it should be a lot easier. See, there you go, it already went through. Sort of. Here we go. That was a little too much. I'm sure there are better and more professional ways to doing this, but I am not a carpenter. And I just need to make this functional. It doesn't have to be pretty. So this is gonna do just fine. go. Now I need to do the top. Alright, we have our supports and our stand is starting to take a little bit of shape. But before we start putting on the shelves, I want to go ahead and start covering this back fence, because rain in South Florida does have the tendency to travel sideways. So between that and the fence, which I'm going to have running underneath this roof structure that I'm going to sort of build to cover off this area, I want to make sure that the moisture is not able to get inside onto my plant. So just like you can see on the other grow area over there, the back part is covered in plastic, so we're going to do the same thing here. As you can see, it was really easy, and it's not an exact science whatsoever. I have different kinds of wood here. I have reused wood that I had from a grow box that I had out here, and it's all about taking measurements, taking your time. One tip I can give you is you should always drill a guide hole before you put in the screw, so that they're able to go in exactly where you need them to go, and always measure everything before you cut. And if you're trying this for the first time, obviously try to wear some gloves and maybe some eye protection, because you know, when you're cutting wood and you're working with wood, splinters are bound to happen, and you don't want to get a splinter in your eye or in your skin. If you have any questions, guys, drop them down in the comments below. And if you're looking for any plants to stuff your new shelf, do check out my website, eastcoastcamanchaca.com. I sell rare cacti and succulents, and also t-shirts like the one you saw me wearing earlier. And if you'd like to see more of these sort of how-to videos, please let me know in the comments. and I'll be sure to keep on making them. Now that it's springtime and it's hot and I'm back home in the United States, I'm gonna be making some more content, and also look out for content from Coahuila, Mexico. I was out there looking at Lophophora and Ariocarpus, Epitalanta, and a whole bunch of rare cacti and succulents, and I have some great sort of content to share with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.